Welcome to the School of the Lost Tribes. The symbolism of the camel, servanthood, burden-bearing, and the spiritual weight of Israel. Introduction. The camel in Scripture symbolizes service, endurance, and burden-bearing. It is known for its ability to carry heavy loads and travel long distances through difficult conditions, making it a fitting representation of the hardships and responsibilities placed upon Israel. However, despite its strength, the camel is unclean for food, Leviticus 11:4, Deuteronomy 14:7, indicating that not all strength and endurance lead to spiritual purity. For the scattered Israelites, the camel serves as a dual lesson. They must be strong, resilient servants in their spiritual walk. They must ensure that their burdens and labors are aligned with righteousness, not just religious tradition. 1. The camel as a burden-bearer of service and duty, Genesis 24:64, Zechariah 14:15. Genesis 24:64, and Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. Zechariah 14:15. And so shall be the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass, and of all the beasts that shall be in these tents, as this plague. In Genesis, Rebekah arrives on a camel to meet Isaac, signifying the camel's role in carrying one toward their divine destiny. This shows how the camel serves as a faithful servant, bringing the chosen ones closer to their appointed future. Zechariah, on the other hand, warns that the camel, along with other animals, will suffer in the plagues against those who oppose Yahweh. This suggests that even the strongest servants cannot escape judgment if they are found among the wicked. For the scattered Israelites, the lesson is clear. Yahweh can use endurance and servitude to bring his people to their purpose, like Rebekah. However, serving in the wrong place or under the wrong system leads to judgment, as in Zechariah's warning. 2. The camel as a symbol of religious hypocrisy and spiritual blindness, Matthew 23:24, Matthew 19:24, Luke 18:25. Matthew 23:24, Ye blind guides which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Matthew 19:24. And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. Luke 18:25. For it is easier for a camel to go through a needle's eye than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. Yahweh Shwai rebukes the religious leaders, saying they strain at a gnat but swallow a camel, meaning they focus on small external religious details while ignoring huge spiritual issues. This is a warning against hypocrisy, where one carries the burden of religion but forgets true righteousness. Likewise, the parable of the camel and the eye of the needle teaches that wealth, status, and material burdens make it nearly impossible to enter the kingdom. Just as a camel struggles to pass through a small gate, so too does a person weighed down by worldly possessions and pride. For the scattered Israelites, this teaches that serving Yahweh requires more than just religious actions. It demands true righteousness. Worldly burdens, wealth, power, false religion, can prevent entry into the kingdom. 3. The camel as an unclean animal, Leviticus 11:4, Deuteronomy 14:7. Leviticus 11:4. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. Deuteronomy 14:7. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof, therefore they are unclean unto you. The camel is unclean, despite being a hard-working, enduring, and useful creature. It chews the cud, meditates on things, but does not have a divided hoof, a stable walk. This teaches that not all that appears good is spiritually clean. A strong work ethic and endurance are not enough. Obedience to Yahweh's laws is required. For the scattered Israelites, this means that they must not assume that just because something is useful, like a camel, it is acceptable before Yahweh. Conclusion: the camel is a symbol of servanthood and the weight of spiritual burdens. The camel represents both positive and negative spiritual truths. A servant's strength. The camel carries heavy burdens and helps deliver the chosen. Genesis 24:64. A warning against hypocrisy. Religious leaders were carrying heavy laws, but neglecting true righteousness. Matthew 23:24. A symbol of spiritual burdens. Material wealth and false priorities make entering the kingdom difficult. Matthew 19:24, Luke 18:25. A reminder that strength alone is not enough. The camel is unclean for food, showing that service without righteousness does not make one holy. Leviticus 11:4, Deuteronomy 14:7. For the scattered Israelites, this means they must bear the right burdens, those of truth and righteousness, not false religion and materialism. They must not rely on works alone, but on obedience to Yahweh's commandments. They must ensure that they are not serving in the wrong places, carrying burdens that do not lead to life. Are you carrying the right burden? The camel teaches that not all labor is holy. The scattered Israelites must ensure that they are serving in righteousness and not simply bearing religious or worldly burdens that weigh them down. Will you lay down the weight of falsehood and carry only the burden of truth?